What's up, everybody, and welcome to the NotBland Show. And I'm your host, Dujane Bland. And of course, we want to go right out of the gate and thank our sponsor, Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. What a hell of a weekend. Right from the start, I'm going to tell you right now, right from the start, our first guest tonight, I had that feeling that he was going to get the W, and he did that. And he pulled one out for me. Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, got that win on that one. Let's not talk about the rest of it. Funny Car was trash. Pro Stock wasn't too bad. Pro Stock Bike wasn't too bad. But I did pick the winner. So I had faith in Shawn, and he pulled it out. So what a weekend for him. Definitely want to thank Sports Journey, DragRaceReference.com, and Everything Nitro for what they do for us. Again, hit the like, hit the share. If you're not subscribed to the NotBland Show, then please do so. Helps us out, will help us gain more sponsors, and it's going to be a fun ride tonight. So let's get to it. First, a word from our sponsor, and when we come back, it'll be Shawn Langdon, if I can ever get that out.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
And right now we have our first guest of the night, Shawn Langdon. Shawn, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Man, what a weekend for you. I'm going to come right out of the gate with it. The 1,000th Top Fuel race. We talked about it before we came on. You're, growing up, loving the sport, getting the junior dragsters, racing Top Fuel. You're racing for Connie Coletta, for crying out loud. And now you cement yourself in history with something else other than a championship, the 1,000th Top Fuel race. And Don Garlits to win the first one. Crazy, isn't it? Like, it has to be crazy for you.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It like I was telling you earlier, it's just racing junior dragsters one day, and I felt like I blinked my eyes. The next thing I know, I'm coming around the corner getting presented the 1,000th Top Fuel event by Don Garlits and driving Connie Coletta's Top Fuel dragster. It's pretty wild, man. It's time's flown by, and I've just been so lucky along the way to have some great opportunities and race for some great people, and just get an opportunity to do what I love, and that's hit the gas and go fast.
Yeah, man, and you've been doing that a lot before the season even started. Tell the fans what you were doing in the off season. I know you love to race, and you'll race anything. What were you doing during the off season, and what were you driving?
Well, it started out. Khaled Al-Belushi, who runs in Pro Mod, was a teammate of mine back with the Al-Anabi team. Yeah. He had purchased a bracket car over here in the States, and we got to talking, and he had said, "Hey, come over to Bahrain and get this thing straightened out for me." So went over there and did a race in Bahrain, and didn't really have good success there, but just trying to test and do some things on the car to get it right. And so he had said, "Hey, come back for the Qatar Racing Series and come drive the car." And they pay pretty good. They paid, I think it's like close to $10,000 an event win, and they pay $20,000 to win the championship. And they race every week. It's like 6-7 weeks in a row, and then they do another series. And so it was like, okay, yeah, sure. So ended up going over there and had some good success, won the first 2 races and runnered up the third. And so just was over there racing. And in the meantime, Sheikh Khaled, he was like, "Hey, if you're over here, you might as well drive my Top Fuel Pro Mod that I got." So I was like, you know me, I'm a sucker. I'll drive anything. So hopped in that thing, ended up going 364 at 204, 8th mile in that thing. But yeah, got to go over there and Todd and Ty Tutterow were working on it with Mark Savage, and you know, so it was awesome. Like it just kind of a whole new world over there. You know, J.R. Gray came over for a little bit, and Mike Stavarinos was over there for a little bit, and so I got to know those guys. And you know, obviously they've started off pretty hot, but yeah, it was cool. Honestly, it was just a really neat experience for me going over there. You know, Belushi's such a good guy, man. He's just so generous and so gracious, and you know, he's like, hey, come over and I'll fly you over, and you work on the car and you can race the car. And so we were over there, and I was racing with his boys. He's got 2 boys, and so was racing with them. And honestly, man, I had a great time. A beautiful country over there. Had a lot of fun. Great people. Super nice. Super generous. Hospitable. Food was great. Atmosphere is great. Culture was awesome. You know, got to learn a little bit. Hang out with the Sheik for a little while. And
yeah,
I told him, I said, you guys messed up. I said, because whether you invite me back, I'm coming back next year.
Yeah, I mean, with all that, the hospitality, the food, the racing, yeah, I would definitely willingly go back for sure. You know, that's awesome to spend time and to be able to, you know, just kick back and just kind of enjoy just driving the car. We miss Sheik over here, but it's really cool to see Al-Anabi back on Pro Mods for sure over here in NHRA. I'm gonna start with Brian Husen. I said it when the announcement was made and we had the big media scrum that I saw some big things coming. And I know you've talked about the fact that, you know, he's been the understudy for a long time, but there's no doubt, just like anybody who's been behind the greats, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, you know, some of the great coaches that we've seen, Joe Gibbs, those guys are learning and studying, and they're developing their own playbook. And he's really been able to put it on display. Did it last year, I thought, as well. Didn't end the way you guys wanted it to, but I thought the car was right there, running really well. And now you guys come right out of the gate, similar to last year, swinging the bats. Your 12-3 round win-loss record. You got 2 wins, were able to redeem yourself with this 4-wide win. And last year, Chicago wasn't bad, just didn't win the final against Antron Brown. You have an opportunity to turn that around here in a couple weeks. Man, you got to love having Brian, and it's got to be super comfortable for you being a driver to know that you've got one of the best in the business giving you a car to drive.
Yeah, and you know, dating back to with the Al-Anabi days, you know, I didn't really know Brian going into when I got the opportunity to drive for Al-Anabi, and then, you know, with the 3 years, 4 years that I was there, got to know Brian very well and consider him a great friend. The guy's about as solid as it gets from top to bottom, man. He just a good, hardworking guy. Loves the sport, loves drag racing, takes a lot of pride in not only his performance, but the appearance of everything. I mean, he's very adamant on, you know, you win and you lose the same. You have the same temperament. You walk off the start line with class. If you win, act like you've been there before. But if you lose, don't show everybody the frustration. Just get back to working and get ready for the next race. So, yeah, I mean, and even when, you know, the Al-Anabi deal went away, you know, him and I were still buddies, and we kept in communication for years. And so when the opportunity presented itself for him to come back, I mean, I remember having a conversation with Chad Head about it, and it's just like, I don't understand. This isn't even a question to me. Yes, I mean, absolutely. This guy's, I mean, as good as it gets. And bringing him and AJ over, obviously the primary focus was getting Doug a championship. So once that was accomplished, then it was, you know, kind of like, okay, you know, Brian's, like you said, you know, been an understudy of AJ for all those years, and it's time for him to have the opportunity. So again, when it was presented to me of, you know, hey, we're thinking of having Brian tune on your car, it was Absolutely. I mean, I've known Brian's talents for the last 10 years, and so it's kind of funny. A lot of people are just like, man, Brian Houston's badass. He's one of the best crew chiefs out there, and it's like, I've known this for years. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by it because I know how awesome the guy is. But yeah, the turnaround that he's had with this team and with the guys, it's been awesome. It's been a good run, last year and what we've been able to accomplish the first 5 races this year. But obviously our main focus and goal is to finish off what we did last year. We were close, came down to Pomona.
Yeah.
Obviously Vegas was a big blow to us, but going to Pomona, we had a shot to win it, and came up a little bit short, but absolutely nothing to hang our heads about. We had a great year, and I felt like we were dangerous last year, but I feel like this year we're dangerous with confidence. Brian's got confidence. He learned a lot last year, and I mean the look at a couple, our final round that we've had this year with Antron, made a great run in the final, but Antron, they made a great run as well. It was a great drag race.
It was.
But the run that he made in Phoenix, the run that Brian made in Phoenix in the final round against Doug, I mean, he threw down in the final last weekend at Charlotte, man. He threw down. He saved my ass. My week sucked 71 reaction time.
Yeah.
I hit
Worst of the day.
Man, I tell you what, I don't know. Some days you're on it, some days you're not. I felt like I should have been mid-low 50s. And that's kind of where I was at. I was high 50s, low 60s qualifying, but I felt like race day, a little adrenaline. I should be mid-low 50s. And man, I was 68 and 62. And then for the final, it's just now I'm trying to get myself pumped up and amped up. And I think I got myself I went the wrong direction. I was 71, just trying too hard essentially. But yeah, I got back to the winner circle and I said, man, thanks for saving my ass right there. So
did you, so Matt Hagan talks about how like he kind of can see the tree as he's leaving, like it's all in slow motion. When in that final round, did you see the guy next to you leave on you? Did you see he was out in front of you?
I didn't see that he was out in front, but when I hit the gas, I felt like I hit it decent. But yeah, I can see about 200ths in the tree, whether I leave first or they leave on me. So when I hit the gas, my initial thought was, because I saw lane 1, the bulbs went out just a little bit before mine, and knowing Justin Ashley's in lane 1, and Justin's he's deadly on the tree. So yeah, my first reaction was shit. And so it just at that point, I'm going down the track. I don't see him. I can hear him, but I know I'm behind on the tree. And I know Brian was going for it in the final. He was not looking to get outrun by any of the other 3 cars. So the car was making a great run and went down, lifted through the parachutes, and I saw a blinking light on my lane, and it was like, oh, okay. And then I looked over and I saw a solid light on his, but I forgot the 4 wide thing. And I'm like,
yeah,
is it the blinking light or is it the solid light? So I'm in the shutdown area. I'm thinking like, okay, well, I either got first or second. I do know that, but then I'm thinking, man, he left on me pretty good. If I lost this on a whole shot, man. And so I'm at the point where I've convinced myself I've lost on a whole shot in the shutdown area. And then the way to kind of cheat the system a little bit, if you didn't catch the wind light, is you look for the TV camera, because the TV camera pans on the winner.
Yeah.
So I look across the track, across lane 4, and I'm looking over at the TV camera. Well, of course, the TV camera's pointed at lanes 1 and 2.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
it
well,
was.
that don't help me, because it's either 1 or 2, and I don't know if he's pointing at Justin or I. And I know as soon as I lifted through the parachutes, I saw Justin's nose kind of squirt out just past the finish line.
Yeah.
But I know I'm usually pretty close on the 1,000-foot on where I lift and throw the chutes, and I have the chutes out early. So sometimes I might be a 100th or 2 ahead at the finish line, but then I'll see them, 50, 100 feet past the finish line. So Yeah, I didn't know, and I was kind of I was joking with Austin all weekend about like, oh yeah, when we get in the winter circle, we got to do his social media. He had the guy with the Stone Cold and hits the beers and all that stuff.
That was classic.
So we were joking about that all day. We're like, yeah, man, if we get in the winter circle, we'll do that, and we're laughing. So we were kind of just a joke we had, and so I come around the corner, I see him go like this. And so I'm doing this. I'm like, did I win or lose? And he goes, yeah, you won. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah. So then at that point, it's like I got about 5 seconds before I get out of the car, and then get out of the car, and Big Daddy standing there and got the trophy, and then do your interview, and it's just like everything's kind of a whirlwind at that point.
I know you had so much going on. Has it sunk in what the history that was made? Has it sunk in yet now that you've had a day or two?
Yeah, it has, but it's kind of weird because like for me, I really pride myself on like I treat everything the same, whether it's a test run, a first round, a final round, 1,000th race, race for a championship. Like I try to mentally, physically give 100% in the car every single time. So like for me, I try not to treat any scenario of who I'm racing or anything any more or any less than I would, because I just feel like if you do 100% and you expect 100% out of yourself every single time, you only know how to give 100%. And I just try to really mentally train myself in that aspect. So coming into the weekend, it's like, what would it mean to win the 1,000th event? It's like, okay, yeah, it'd be good. It'd be another event. It'd be awesome. It'd just be awesome to get the win. And then it's kind of like, as it all kind of sets in, it's like, you see the trophy, you see Don Garlits there. Don Garlits comes to the winner circle. He's in the winner circle with us and Connie Coletta. And then you kind of start thinking like, man, these guys have been there, seen it, done it all. And we're sitting there in a conversation. There's a really cool picture I put on my Instagram of it, but I'm standing there and it's Connie Coletta and Don Garlits, and they're talking, and I'm standing there. And at one point I kind of look around and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like Connie Coletta, Don Garlits, and me. Like, what is going on right now? So it's awesome. It's very, humbling to get the opportunity. I'm very thankful that I get to race Connie Coletta's race car. I don't think it's fully set in yet. It's pretty badass. I did get my time slip signed by Don Garlits and Connie Coletta.
That's awesome.
Which is something I normally don't do, but I felt like it was the right time.
Yeah.
And so, it's the more I think about it, it's awesome for what these guys did and have done and have paved the way for kids like me to get the opportunity to race a race car for a living, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Question from Blake. He congratulates you on that 1,000th. Said, if you had a chance to race funny car again, would you?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously right now, no. I feel like I'm in a really good situation with Brian being the crew chief and with my guys. I have a really, really good team. The crew from top to bottom is a really good team. And it's hard in this day and age to get not just a good team together, but from work ethic, team chemistry, and everything. It's really hard to do that. And I feel like right now we have a really, really good team. In the future, if the opportunity came about to drive a funny car, I had fun driving a funny car. The thing I liked the most about the funny car was the challenge of it, because I struggled a lot. And I was so used to driving a dragster for so long, and you don't drive a dragster in a funny car the same. And so I struggled a little bit, because a lot of everything that you do driving a car, it's not like you're not driving a car down the freeway where you're thinking. It's like you're thinking and reacting and making adjustments. A lot of things to drive these cars well and to be ahead of the car is everything's instinctive. So when you get in bad habits and you're trying to instinctively drive a car and you have bad habits, tendencies, you can really, really, it makes for long days. And it took me a while to get it. I worked a lot with asking a lot of questions from a lot of guys. I mean, obviously having JR in your back pocket was a big help.
Yeah.
Initially starting off with Tommy DeLago as a crew chief, and then Nicky Bonifani, and Del Worsham, when he came on board, he helped me tremendously on driving that car. But man, I never have driven a car that I felt like I studied. With the funny car, I watched film, I watched videos after the run. We were in there with the Toyota group. Slugger Lobby was big help to me of going over things of, he was a crew chief in the NASCAR days, and he would just outsider perspective, right? He would give things that he noticed. So for me, it was homework. I'd go make runs and I'd go watch film and I'd learn of what I did right and what I did wrong and try to train my mind to do the right things. And I loved the challenge of it, and not to take anything away from a dragster, because dragsters are hard to drive and you drive instinctively with those too, but
right.
they're a little more, they're always predictable until they're not, but they're predictable 90% of the time, where a funny car is more like 50% of the time.
Yeah. Interesting. 1320 asks, Shawn Langdon, where does that come from?
No. Long nights, man. Long nights. Late nights and an alter ego.
I like it. Oh man. Look, man, it is incredible to watch. Like I said before I got on here, to just being a fan of a lot of you guys and being on this side of it and watching, you guys go through the gauntlet of this thing we call Top Fuel drag racing and NHRA championship drag racing is amazing. Congratulations on that 1,000th, man. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. And I'm sure you won't take a break, because I'm sure that's not your style, but we got a couple weeks. So, take a load off a little bit and have a little fun.
As soon as I hang up on it here, I'm going in the garage and I'm putting my motor back together for my bracket car, because we got a TP Promotions race in St. Louis next week that I'm getting ready for. So it pays $50,000. So I'm gonna try to be ready. Try to be ready for that.
Yes, sir. Go get that money. Yeah. I ain't mad at you. Hope you have a good one out there, man. And again, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again this year.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Shawn Langdon, everybody. I always love we had him on last year. It's been a long time, but man, it is a blast having him on. Thank you guys for tuning in. And, before we have on that man they call Double O, let's take a look at Shawn Langdon's run for the win.
It's going to go down to lanes 1 and 2. Shawn Langdon appears to have the pace. It is Shawn Langdon, 371.4, 330 miles an hour. Connie Coletta, his team owner, was running top gas at the 63 Winter Nationals that Don Garlits won the first trophy at, and Shawn Langdon has delivered for his team.
Shawn Langdon makes history here in Charlotte, the 1,000th Top Fuel win. We've got Big Daddy Don Garlits on board. We've got Andy Ross on American Rebel Light to hand you the Wally. Shawn, you get this, bring this big bad boy home. I hope you brought a separate car or truck or trailer to haul it back. Congratulations, my friend.
Well, that's why we got you muscles over here. You can carry it for me. Nah, man, this is to have Don down here and American Rebel. Thank you guys for everything you do, but my team, man, these guys are they're badass. I didn't hold my own weight on the starting line. I was a little slow I don't know why, but I had a good race car, and Connie Coletta leads the way. Man, everything goes to Connie, and just fortunate to be able to drive a race car for him. We have Future Energy Solutions on the side, and everyone at Coletta Air. Brian, man, he's such a badass. That right there shows why we love having Brian on board. I mean, he gives everybody. He's the backbone of this team. So, all the credit to the crew guys. Great job to them. Great win, 1,000th win. That's special. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, quite impressive, man. 1,000, man. It's crazy. It's crazy to see and think that we've had that many Top Fuel races. So we're moving on to Pro Stock, and Pro Stock has been it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. KB is just, I don't know, they're just kicking the door down. And Dallas Glenn, once again, hands it to the boss, gets the W. And if you missed it, this is how it went down. And after this, we'll have Dallas Glenn.
Latino went red off the starting line. Glenn was 002. It's a two-horse race to the finish line. In the rubber match of the season, it's a whole shot win for Dallas Glenn. Pulls one ahead of the boss. 3 wins on the year to Greg's 2. A 49 beats a 47. These guys never fail to deliver.
We'll let the party begin in his hometown for Dallas Glenn as he, by just a couple thousandths of a second, beats Greg Anderson, go back-to-back. The 00 Dallas with a 00 reaction time. The moniker stays true, and Andy Ross from American Rebel Light is here to hand you another Wally. Dallas, tell us about that victory.
With no parachutes there in the mad rush, it was a short turnaround. I think my parachute cable got all bent, so I couldn't get the parachutes out. But, you get a win like that. I knew it was good when I let go. It was an awesome run. Thank you, Dave Connell, and everybody at KB Titan. You've got Eric Latino with Jesse down here. Rick Hendrick is down here with HendrickCars.com. Dan Provost is going to get to fly home soon from his recovery from his accident. DPFPartsDirect.com, Summit Racing. Everybody's here, family. I got my wife's car running good. She had a great time out here, and I love racing at home, and I guess I love 4-wides too. So hopefully we can get another one of these in the countdown. Let's go.
Dallas, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. And what a season you guys are having. You and Greg are just trading it back and forth. You kind of got to stick it to him this year. He took something away from you at the end of the year, and it seems like you're on the verge of making sure you can take this back in 2025.
Yeah, Greg and I are definitely just having a lot of fun right now. Our cars are running fantastic, making great runs. And we're just going out there trying to capitalize on everything we can. When everything's going your way, you have to capitalize on it because, it doesn't stay your way for very long. It's not going to be long before everybody else is catching up, and we're going to be fighting to the, tooth and nail. So we need to capitalize on everything at the moment.
Yeah, we have had conversations, me and Monday Morning Racer, we've had conversations about how in pro stock, the pendulum just kind of swings back and forth. And right now the pendulum has swung in y'all's direction, and it usually always evens out at some point in pro stock. It's just kind of the nature of the beast if you kind of pay attention to how history works with pro stock.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't that long ago that Elite was kicking our butts real bad, and we definitely had to put our heads down and try to find a little bit more. And they've done a fantastic job. We worked hard over the off season, and they found a little bit more, and we're making some great runs right now. Some of the runs that Greg's made, going 47 there in the final, that's and resetting the track record there in Pomona that stood for 11 years back to basically carbureted days, and resetting all these national records is they're pretty big accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, huge. And with the horsepower you guys are making, and I've looked at, just kind of been paying attention to the different tracks and the various track conditions you guys have kind of dealt with. Does it make it difficult to kind of still not put yourself in a position where you're going to get outrun, but also towing that line of not going into tire shape?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially, this time of year, when you're running at a lot of tracks that are at sea level, you're making big power, you need to make sure that you get off the starting line for one, but you also need to make sure that, you get off the starting line quickly too. But, it's definitely going to get a little bit trickier here coming into the summer because, the track's going to get greasy and everything. So it's usually a little bit different of a challenge, I think, when the air's really good and the track's really good. But at the same time, I'm assuming that when the countdown comes and we start getting into these kind of conditions again, that everybody's going to just get a little bit more aggressive, and you don't want to, leave anything out. So you'll probably see more tire shake in the countdown than you do now. But, right now everything's clicking, everything's running good. We've got kind of everything going our way for the moment. But, I'm I'm pretty confident that's not going to last forever.
Yeah. 200 wins though for KB. You get that 200th. That's pretty amazing for this team to have 200 wins. You know, was it a big deal? Like, did you guys know that was on the table?
Yeah, a lot of us knew that we were getting close, and Tamara at the shop, she had hats and stuff made in a big banner. So, we knew it was coming up, but we were just kind of going out there to win every race we can and do everything we can. So, to be able to get the 200, that was pretty special. I think Greg has 108. I think Jason had like 51. Bo Butner has several. Kyle Koretsky had one. Jimmy Alun had one. So there's a lot of people who have contributed to that number, and I'm just thankful I've been able to contribute as much as that I have been. And I told Dave Connolly already. I asked him how many he had. I think he has 26. I told him I'm coming for him though.
Yeah, you're running him down. You're tied right now with that 16th win at the 4Y with Bruce Allen.
Oh wow,
that's a name.
Yeah, that's a name. You haven't heard that one in a while. That's quite a person to be tied with there. But hopefully I got a few years left here at least, because Greg, he's a long way out there, and I'd like to get up there with and being names with like Dave Connolly and things like that. But I'm just trying to take everything one race at a time right now, and I have absolutely having a blast. We work really hard, and you're wore out by the end of the weekend, but it's always a little bit more fun when everything's going how you want it to.
Yeah. And Dave W., owner, founder of Drag Race Reference. This is a really amazing stat. You've been to at least 20 of the 25. You've been to the semifinals at least 20 of the 25 races, and would have had two championships if it wasn't for the countdown.
Yeah, well, fortunately, there was a couple years ago where I was pretty far behind going into the countdown, and I absolutely loved the reset because we were getting our butts kicked. But we all know what it is going into it. Even though the last couple of years I wish we didn't have a countdown, but
yeah,
I know how it is, and I don't think you can ask for a better. I mean, other than me coming out 2000s to the other way there in the final. But as far as fan goes and excitement goes, I don't think you can get anything more exciting than 2000s to the winner take all final round. The last four people in the semis all have a shot to win. I think that is. I don't think you can script it any better than that.
No, and that's something that's going to last. That's going to be what we see in history that comes up on these time machine things that Brian Loans does. That'll always come up. I thought that was tremendous to have that kind of that it being so far up for grabs coming down to the end like that. Couldn't have written it better. Starting your career out, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I had how I found out about Dallas Glenn is because I was sitting next to his wife in the media room, and she says to watch out for my husband, Dallas Glenn. Yep, I was on the bandwagon before everybody else started, and since that time, man, you really have put together one heck of a career so far. And I understand that you've been working on these cars, you've worked for and been behind some of the best, and now you're able to showcase your talent on the racetrack. Do you kind of pinch yourself sometimes being around some of the greats and being right there and mentioned with these guys, day in and week out because of your performance?
Sometimes, I'll catch myself thinking it's even sometimes just driving the hauler. You're driving down the road and you get a little kid that wants you to honk the horn or something because I drive the Greg's semi.
Yeah.
So it is kind of cool. I get to sit there and think I'm living a pretty cool life here. I get to drive a the HendrickCars.com for Greg Anderson rig going down the road with a pro stock car with my name on it, right behind me. And, I get to race against and with, guys like Greg Anderson and Jeg Coughlin Jr. and all these, big names that I've seen win, 5-6 championships each. Eric Anders was 6 championships. So, I get to compete against them and try to do the best I can against them. And then, what's really cool is, you get all these people that come to the races that, they tell you that you're their biggest fan. And it's like it's kind of a weird feeling, because this is something that you just love going out and do. And these people, they wait all year, they pay good money, that they're hard-earned money, to come out and stand or sit in the sun for hours on end to watch you make a 6-second run and try to beat another person making a 6-second run. It's a pretty crazy life.
Yeah, man, it is. It really is. It has to be. I know it's fun for me being on this side of it. It has to be really fun for you guys. Just thinking about all the things that are going in pro stock. And I heard that there was a meeting. I don't know if you're able to tell us what that meeting was about, or was that G14 classified?
I'm not 100% sure, because technically I was, but I wasn't invited at the same time. It seemed like everybody knew about it and everybody went. I was between finishing up a few things on my car, and then Sadie was running first round, and then I had media for number 1 qualifier. I kind of just caught like maybe 2 minutes of the ending of the meeting. It was just kind of a meeting, as far as I know, with NHRA to see where we're at, if there's anything that anybody wants to bring to the table for changes, because it has been several years since there's been any real rule changes, major, and it seems like every few years, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, something like that, there's usually something to come along and kind of poke it along whenever anything gets stagnant, kind of stir it up a little bit. But whether or not anything happens or comes about it, I'm not really, familiar with any of those details. I know that I think they're probably going to have another meeting about it at some point this year, but I haven't heard anything about it. But no, who knows? There might be some small or maybe some big changes coming, but I haven't heard of anything solid yet.
Yeah, it's always nice that at least people are always getting together to have the meeting of the minds to continue to push pro stock forward, and keep it competitive. I think right now it doesn't look competitive, but I believe Elite is working on their program as much and as hard as they can. I know a lot of people, and Erica's catching a lot of flack for no reason. The girl is driving her butt off. The car just isn't there right now.
Yeah, I mean, she made a pretty decent run first round and made a solid run second round. And I don't know if that quad second round, I think the 3 cars there were all within like a few thousandths of a second. So I know that they're coming, they're working on their stuff. They're going to be right with us here before long. I bet it's before the end of the season. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
They're not shy of hard work. They know what they're doing. So, it's kind of one of those where, we kind of climbed a rung and maybe they slip back a rung, and it looks worse than it really is.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to be able to pick back their rung back up here shortly and close the gap. But, in the meantime, we just need to keep working hard and see if we can grab another rung to make sure that we try to stay just that little bit ahead of them. Because, I missed the championship by 2,000ths last year, and, I really want that championship. I've always said that I've always told, new drivers, Corey Reed, all of them, the first win's always the hardest. And then after that, it just seems like all the pressure's gone. So it's definitely, I can say that first championship is definitely the hardest.
Yeah. In-season championship. What do you think of that?
I like that, the bonus for, I wish they had it, for the last 2 years,
Yeah, that would have been
'Cause
nice.
yeah, it would have been real nice. I was doing real good there the last 2 years, but now I got Greg Anderson right on my butt. So uh, he's definitely going to be tough to compete with here, and I just got to keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm making good runs. I'm driving good. I haven't made too many mistakes that have cost me. So as long as I keep doing that and keep trying to throw the kitchen sink at it whenever I have to race Greg, I think I can edge him out.
Yeah, for sure. Blake says, if you had the chance, would you drive Top Fuel if you had that opportunity?
That would kind of just depend on how everything else is going. Obviously I love Pro Stock. That's where my heart is. That's where I feel the most comfortable, the most natural, and everything. Obviously, if something was to happen with Pro Stock or anything like that, or something with KB Titan or anything like that, and the Top Fuel ride was there. I mean, I don't think I could. You know, I'm a racer. I'll jump in anything. You know, I've driven a lot of different cars, and I don't think I'd be scared to get in and try it once to see what it's like. So you never know. I can't speak for the future, but I absolutely love Pro Stock. I'm a Pro Stock guy through and through.
Man, Sadie and her ride, you talked about how it's running good in your interview. Tough start for her last year. I was communicating with her about what was going on, and they hurt the motor. She's got a nice new baby now, and seems to be running quite well, huh?
Yeah, it ran pretty good. I do think it's still very on the conservative side, but the last half of last season there, I was I was trying everything, and it was the one thing I didn't try. So, naturally how it is. But I
Yeah,
basically over the winter time I said, all right, let's just go completely over. Let's just start over, completely disassemble the engine, and just new pistons, new crankshaft, new camshaft, new lifters, new springs, the whole deal. Just went all new, started over, and it seems to be working so far. We put it. I was able to put it on the dyno this time, which I
yeah,
wasn't. I ran it. I didn't have enough time the last time that the engine got hurt. So when I put it on the dyno, I knew it was going to run good there. As long as it runs good on the dyno, it should run good in the car. So if it doesn't run good in the car, then really severely narrows down where my issue is. So yeah, no, it showed where pretty much highlighted exactly where my issue was, and it wasn't easy to find right after as soon as we put it into the car. So
yeah.
we've got it all sorted out. It ran fantastic in Charlotte. I think if we need to pick it up to try to make some tougher fields, I don't think it'll be an issue.
That's awesome. I know she's happy, and yeah, yeah. It's always cool to see her race out there in Top Dragster. That's one of my classes that if I got a chance, that's exactly where I would want to go. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've ran it a few times in other cars. It is a lot of fun. It's top dragster and top sportsman. I've got friends that they're doing 620s in a door car at 230 miles an hour, and I know they're looking over at people or trying to look behind them. So
Yeah,
I've always I've seen some people who have made comments about because in the pro stock car every now and then I'll take a glance over after I'm in high gear 1,000 foot, make a quick glance, and people make comments, oh, he needs to stop looking over, he's going to crash. And it's like these guys don't know about top sportsmen. These guys are doing 20-30 miles an hour faster than me, a half second
yeah,
faster than me, and they're over there ripping the throttle and trying to pull the chutes early to take 5,000ths on a guy. So
yeah.
but for those people though, I never look over before high gear, and it's only if I'm nice square in the groove and it's nice and planted. If it's spinning or anything, I don't ever look over. So
You heard it here first.
if I don't look over if I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Dallas, man, thank you for taking the time to come on. Congratulations on your win and grabbing that 200th win for KB Titan. And got a couple weeks until we get back at it. But man, I hope the momentum continues for you and your team as we get further and further into this 2025 season.
Yeah, no, I hope so too. I've always said we're kind of riding the wave right now, and hopefully we don't wash up on the shoreline here before the countdown starts. So,
Yeah, hopefully not. Thanks, Dallas. Appreciate you.
all right, thank you.
Dallas Glenn, everybody. Man, what a show. What a show. And I saw a comment. Let's see. Let me address that real quick. Yeah, I did hear about possible scoop returning, something to deal with tires, possibly. Not really sure, but I think if you watch Joe's show, they were talking about the tires, and I mean these guys they have burnout cars that they break these tires in with. Some teams do. I don't know if that's every team, but I do know some teams do. So interesting stuff. Great weekend of racing. WJ said he used to look over all the time. Didn't have anything else to do waiting for the finish line to get there. Yeah, it's amazing how these guys can do that, though. Especially in Top Fuel and Funny Car, when you hear a guy talk about the fact that he can see the tree as he's leaving, like it's in slow motion. I guess if you've done it enough, it starts to feel that way. But yeah, it's quite interesting to see and hear people talk about that aspect of it when it comes to driving those fast, mean race cars. Man, if you were doing your drag race bracket bonanza, we'll go over that really quickly before we get out of here. We'll take a look at the league. If you're not in the league, the code is at the bottom. Go to dragracebracketbonanza.com. Go to leagues, put in the code there, and join our league. It's a lot of fun right now. Once again, for the second year, Dave W. is leading the pack. It's a little annoying, but got to give the man credit. He's hitting everything on all cylinders there. Let's see if we can get over here and share this here. Okay, here we go. So, as you can see, in the overall 4-wide cup, I am a distant second, about 9 and change behind Dave W. Dave W. led the 4-wide cup. As you can see, the bottom there. Now, Nicole had a problem with submitting her picks and would have had a perfect top fuel bracket, but for whatever reasons did not go through. So, Lonnie, you're not the only one having issues at times. So, said, can we rename? Okay. Okay. Yeah. You are owning it right now. Yeah, it is crazy, isn't it? It's insane. He's owning this league right now. Let's see. For Charlotte, I was pretty close. He had more. I think his top fuel bracket was better than mine, and all of that. You see the layout there. Unfortunately, Nicole at the bottom. I think that is why she's where she is. She had a great Vegas, by the way. You look at the overall for the season here. Dave W. is in the lead at 347.04. It's yours truly bringing up the rear. He's ahead of me by roughly 40 points here. 307.954. You got Nicole third at 268.647. We have Scott next in fourth, 232.529. Memphis Lonnie in fifth. He's not that far off, Memphis. Not that far off, buddy. In fifth, that's a good point. You got my camera guy there, Fred Warner, right behind in sixth. And yeah, we see you, Nitro Performance guy. We see you. Ninth. But he's missed a couple picks to be to be fair, he's missed a few. Got to set those alarms and those reminders. Let's see. Blake says, he said, for both of us, I must have missed this one. Said Mark is back in Erica's crew. How long do you guys think it would take for Erica to get her consistency back? They were able to flirt with it in Charlotte. She ran a couple 50s, 52, I believe. So they were able to flirt with it in Charlotte. I think this gap right here between Charlotte and Route 66 is going to be good for them because they're not going to take any time off. They're going to be able to test a little bit and kind of tinker and see what they're missing. They're not going to take any time off. They're going to go to work. And if they can have the ability to test a little bit, I think you see them make a vast improvement coming into Chicago. I think you'll see a vast improvement from them. Will they be where Greg and Dallas are? I don't think so just yet. But at the same time, they're kind of starting, they had a false start a little bit, kind of tripped, stumbled a little bit, and they're trying to find their legs. And I feel like they were able to get their legs underneath of them here in Charlotte. And like I've said before, Erica's lights haven't been bad. She hasn't been driving the car bad at all. It's just one of those things, man. If you've got a bug or a gremlin, sometimes it just takes time to find it. And, sometimes you can tear it down. And because you have these events where you don't have a lot of breaks, you really don't have the time to spend to really kind of dissect what's going on because you're trying to get things ready for the next race. This break here will probably allow them to kind of dissect, break down, get deep into the whole engine, wiring, whatever it is, and really find the gremlin that's kind of eluding them right now. And I think they'll find that, as for everyone else with Elite, everybody seems to be struggling a little bit. And Erica's car seemed to be the one that came around in Charlotte. So I think you'll see improvement in Chicago. And I say within 2 more races, they'll be knocking on the door again. But right now, it's going to be a difficult door to knock yourself through because Dallas, Greg and that KB team, they're running some pretty stout numbers right now, and they're doing it with ease. So it's going to take a little bit of time. But like I said, I think they're going to be back in it and be respectable here come Chicago. Let's see here. I have to says all that, and I'm still only 12th overall in the main league. Yeah, but that's good though. 12th in the country. I mean, in the world, I should say, country in the world. I'm at about one. Let's go look at that. I'm at about 190 something. Oh, it's better than that. 105 in the 4-wide cup. The overall. Okay, I'm better than that. 121. I'll take it. I've been inching up every week, and hopefully I can get myself where Dave W. is right there, as you can see right there, in the 12th spot. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Oh, yes, I wanted to talk about that. Thank you. So much going on here and forgot all about it, but yes. That 341 was amazing. If you didn't see it, I have it loaded. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Thanks, Memphis Lonnie. Appreciate it.
This should be absolute target practice for the likes of Brittany Force and Doug Coletta. Let's see what they can dial up. Wow, look at this. Doug Coletta goes 364.6 at 333 miles an hour. Brittany Force chased him across the finish line at 366.7, a 301 mile an hour shot to the 8th mile.
Look at the
this
top
is
speed.
Officially the fastest speed that we've seen in a 341.59 mile an hour speed. Good gravy. That is the fastest run in the history of Top Fuel. That is the second fastest run in the history of drag racing. What in the world is going on here tonight?
Brittany Force, 341 miles per hour. When I say those numbers, what goes through your mind?
Man, she was flying on that run. We really needed that. We needed a solid run. We didn't get in there on that first run. We had no power. Car shut off, no power. And this one we needed. It's 4 white here. We want to do as great as we can. We want to get down there every single lap, in each lane. So it was unfortunate we didn't get down there the first one. That one, 341, that's awesome to have that top speed, something like that for this HendrickCars.com team. We're all really excited about that. That's David Grubnick, John Collins backed.
Insane. And it's funny because Brian's going through all the numbers and you hear Tony go, look at the speed. He hadn't even seen it yet. I think that was the first thing that stood out to me. I heard the 301, but I was like, that's insane, 341. It just shows what these guys are capable of. During qualifying, someone did the research and said that Top Fuel dragsters from Garlits win in 1963 to Brittany's run have increased the speed by over 153 miles per hour. Yeah, it's insane where we're at right now. Really insane where we're at right now with these cars. He said, I think I got 29th in the 4i Cup. That's pretty good. I think they are giving prizes for the top 40 in the Cup. So I think you might be getting a prize. I think that's how that's working. You can go back and watch the show that we did with Elon. It was like 70, show 70. Yeah, Blake, that was insane. It is unreal what they're doing with these cars. And it was cool to see Brittany do that. They've been working extremely hard to get back to where they were, found it towards the end of last season, put themselves in an opportunity to, rise up for the deep, dark depths of the grave to try to steal a championship. And it made it fun for all of us to watch. And they are really running quite well and being able to throw down when they need to. I think what we're noticing, though, with these cars and with the amount of horsepower that a lot of these teams are making and the runs that they're able to make, it has been really difficult on race day when you have a hot track that is slick a little bit to kind of calm that horsepower down. And, we saw Brittany run a 380 in that, I believe that was the final with Shawn. And, it's that happy medium, right? We've seen guys live in the 370s all day, and then the track bites them, and they're only trying to repeat what they did before. Then you see Shawn Langdon run a 371, and you're like, oh, okay. I guess it's not that bad. But, I guess it's all about how they're applying it, where they're applying it, the clutch. And it's a balancing act. And I like the fact that right now it appears that we're not tuning to stick 'em. We're tuning to a racetrack. And these crew chiefs are having to figure out how to maneuver the car down the racetrack to get the numbers that they feel that they can produce. And it's fun to watch. I think this is why with Top Fuel and with Funny Car, you see all these different winners. Paul Lee it's going to be interesting to see how this second quarter of the regular season goes for them and for a lot of the small teams, Hunter Green, Chad Green, that team. You see Daniel Wilkerson getting his stuff together. I really thought he had an opportunity to win the 4 wide. I really did, especially the way they performed in qualifying, but it literally is anybody's race. And that's what you want. I mean, it can't be any better than this, of what we got here. He says, my grandpa was at the track Friday. He was very happy to be there for history. No doubt. Would have loved to have been there for that. That was fantastic. Memphis Lion says, how cool was it that Rick Hendrick skips Talladega to hang out in Charlotte, Sport Force and Greg. Yeah, I thought that was really good. Really cool thing there. And I think people don't realize how much and how involved he has been in drag racing. And it's been for a while. So it was really cool. Talladega is a big race, just as big as the Daytona 500. And for him to be at Charlotte, the 4 wide, for the Mission Foods drag racing series, that speaks volumes. And he's putting a lot of money here within drag racing as well. Got a good shot, Blake. And it's a lot of cars that have a good shot to win in Chicago. We just have so many good cars right now. You see Justin Ashley starting to kind of find themselves a little bit. I really thought Josh Hart had a opportunity as well. I think their issue is being able to run those 70s without smoking the tires. And I know that sounds so cliche and simple, but it's not. They do have the ability to run in those low 70s. They've shown the ability that they can hit a home run and be in the 60s. It's just the consistency level. They did. We saw it over in Bradenton. They had a rinse and repeat type of car. I still believe that it's there. Like I said, crew chiefs are working hard to figure out how and when to apply the clutch so that this car can tiptoe down the racetrack. Because it's a tuner's race as much as it is a driver's race right now. The way that we're seeing the tracks prepared and the amount of sun that we're having, the temperatures are up a little bit. So it's going to be fun to see as we get into these warmer months of racing, how this whole thing plays out. It's going to be fun. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I really would love to see pro stock in Chicago. And maybe the fans can be the squeaky wheel. That's a race I feel like they should be at, especially if you're talking about packing the place out. I think that's a place that they should be at. It really, really is. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate your support. Appreciate you always being a champion of this show. Really means a lot. Yep, Blake, I'll see you on the Power Hour. Got to rest the voice here and get back at it. Dave says it's a race I feel like they should be at too. Yeah, I mean, it's just wild that they're not there. And it's very unfortunate. I think it would complete the whole package there if they were at that particular event. And I think it would contribute to those people coming out. But it will be a nice crowd. I'm happy that they are racing in Chicago. It's one of the classic tracks on the circuit. And hopefully we can grow that event to where it's filled up on both sides, because I do like the way the grandstands are. Once again, man, thank you guys so much for watching the show. Two great guests tonight. Really enjoyed having them on. I was just glad I was able to pull it off. Guys are traveling, Dallas drives the rig, so it was awesome to be able to pull that off for you guys. Man, it's always a blessing to have those of you who watch, whether it's live or later, to watch this show. Thank you so much to Drag Race Bracket Bonanza for sponsoring the show. They will be coming on again for this year as well. And we'll have some announcements. As the content, I'll do that right now. As the content director of sportsjourney.com now, as me and my compadre Connor Force has taken over the reins of Lake Lewis's company. Drag racing will be returning on the actual website. So we're going to post some of the shows and interviews. We're going to have some articles up there. We're going to try to provide you guys with something special that you can go to and read as well as catch some of the interviews as well. So I'm super excited about the opportunity and being able to take over a brand that, that's how I got my start watching Lake Lewis. And he gave me an opportunity, and here we are. So I'm super excited about where the company is headed. And I'm super excited to be able to bring some drag racing coverage to the site, as well as providing you guys with the NotBland Show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have a great Tuesday evening. Enjoy your week. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.